From beloved series that took a turn for the worst, to shows that were never the same after the wrong characters were introduced. These are 10 characters that single-handedly ruined TV shows. Grab some popcorn, sit back, and join us as we take a look at the characters that left us disappointed and frustrated. Once Upon a Time was a fairy tale that came to life, taking viewers on a magical journey through 7 seasons of enchanted romance. But when Captain Hook, the dastardly pirate we all love to hate, became Emma Swan's knight in shining armor, fans were left feeling hooked, but in the wrong direction. According to one fan, the show spent too much time on Hook and Emma's love story, when there were far more interesting characters and storylines being left in the dust. But let's be real, who wouldn't want to see a notorious pirate turn into a romantic hero? It's like watching a bad boy go from black leather to a white horse. The problem was, the love story took away the edge and grit that made Hook such a fan favorite in the first place. As a result, fans went from being once upon a time believers to jumping ship faster than you can say Captain Swan. At least Hook will always have his treasure chest full of hearts to keep him company. Speaking of a show that started off strong but crashed and burned, Modern Family broke the mold and showed the world that blended families could be just as quirky and lovable as any other. But according to fans, the matriarch of the Dunphy clan, Claire, gave off more of an "I'm not a regular mom, I'm a cool wine mom" vibe. With an Emmy-winning performance by Julie Bowen, Claire was a force to be reckoned with. But at times, she was a little too in-your-face with her kids' lives, and didn't seem to appreciate her lovable oaf of a husband, Phil, played by the incomparable Ty Burrell. While she had her moments of awesomeness, Claire was one of the least popular characters on the show, putting a bit of a damper on the otherwise eclectic and lovable cast. And let's be real, who among us hasn't related to the cool wine mom vibe at least once in our lives? Another series with complex family dynamics was Beverly Hills 90210, a staple of 90s television and the teenage genre. It was a massively popular show, but fans just couldn't stand Shannon Doherty's character, Brenda Walsh. When Brenda arrived in Beverly Hills, she quickly adopted the snobbish ways of her surroundings. But what started as endearing quickly became whiny and selfish. Doherty's rumored battles with cast and crew, combined with Brenda's unlikability, put a serious damper on the show. But unlike the OC, Beverly Hills 90210 was able to bounce back once Brenda was written off. Who could blame her for wanting to fit in with the cool kids in Beverly Hills? But her constant drama and whiny attitude made her a less than popular character. Luckily, the show was able to bounce back and become a cultural phenomenon without her. And Shannon Doherty went on to have a successful career in her own right. So, in the end, everyone won. Since we're on the topic of teen dramas, The OC was a teen drama hit on Fox. But fans felt like Marissa, played by Misha Barton, ruined the show. Instead of living up to its stellar debut season, Marissa's inconsistent character development and roller coaster romance with Ryan Atwood, played by Benjamin McKenzie, left fans yearning for more from supporting characters Seth Cohen, played by Adam Brody, and Summer Roberts, played by Rachel Bilson. Killing off the female lead may have worked in Beverly Hills 90210, but it didn't do the trick for the OC. The show caught its final wave in 2007 with season 4, but Marissa will forever be remembered as the character who nearly sank the ship. We'll always love the epic love triangle between Seth, Summer, and Ryan to keep us entertained. Am I right, OC fans? Speaking of drama, Sons of Anarchy, a biker drama inspired by Shakespeare's Hamlet, was a top-notch show that never won an Emmy. Maggie Siff played the talented neonatal surgeon, Dr. Tara Knowles, but according to a lot of fans, she also deserves the title of show ruiner. Tara was Jax Teller's Charlie Hunnam's Ophelia, but the deeper she got into the world of Sons of Anarchy, the more she lost her independence and became a hindrance for Jax. And let's be real, Her ultimate death at the hands of Gemma Teller, played by Katie Sagal, was a turning point for the show, but not in the way we all hoped. I don't know about you, but after all that drama, I need a laugh. Seinfeld, a beloved classic, is one of TV's most iconic comedies. Renowned for its witty and often absurd humor, the show follows the misadventures of four unique characters. Jerry Seinfeld, our dashing lead. Elaine Benes, our lovable, grounded character that every comedy act needs, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Our hapless George Costanza, played by the hilarious Jason Alexander. And of course, our bizarre Cosmo Kramer, played by Michael Richards. While each character has their own style of comedy, not all were well received by the viewers. Kramer often pushed the boundaries with his eccentric and wild antics. His slapstick humor was quirky, but unfortunately could be interpreted as quite annoying at times. Over the course of 9 seasons, there wasn't much growth or development in Kramer's character, which left some viewers unsatisfied with his presence on the show. In spite of this, Kramer is still a major part of what makes Seinfeld so beloved and enjoyable to watch. Many fans had a strong distaste for Kramer. Although Kramer's slapstick humor was meant to be quirky, it often veered into the realm of annoyance. From his spontaneous dance moves to his hilarious catchphrases, Kramer provided some lighthearted comedy that was integral to the show's success. He made us laugh out loud with his wild shenanigans and brought an element of unexpected chaos to each episode. Even though he wasn't everyone's favorite character, it would be hard to imagine Seinfeld without him. Sorry, Kramer. It looks like some viewers just couldn't handle the zaniness. Speaking of Emmy-winning comedy shows, we've got to talk about The Office. But did you know that the beloved Emmy-winning comedy series had mixed reviews with an 81% Rotten Tomatoes score? In Season 7, showrunners had to make a big decision when they chose to write off fan favorite Michael Scott, played by Steve Carell. It was then that Robert California, played by James Spader, entered the picture. And not necessarily in a good way. Though Spader's performance was undeniably superb, his character often created a strange dynamic between some of the characters on screen. He had an unpredictable nature that simply didn't jive with everyone else at Dunder Mifflin. Unfortunately for fans, The Office struggled to stay afloat after Spader's departure at the end of Season 8. Season 9 ended up being its last, as audiences just weren't able to get over the loss of Robert California or his peculiar attitude. One show that could always make us laugh on a cloud of smoke was That 70s Show. The show was the epitome of cool for millennials, but fans just weren't feeling the love for Wilmer Valderrama's Fez. While the gang had great chemistry, Fez seemed like he was on a different show altogether. With his constant one-liners and lack of character growth, unfortunately, this series ending with Fez and Jackie, played by the fantastic Mila Kunis, was a bad trip down memory lane for fans. Another show ruined by an unwanted character was NBC's This Is Us. While the Pearson family was a positive representation of the blended family dynamic, Chris Sullivan's character, Toby Damon, who was a loving and supportive husband to Chrissy Metz's Kate Pearson, was simply far too pessimistic. This caused some fans to lose interest in the show over time. Kate Pearson often projects her frustrations and insecurities onto others, instead of tackling her own internal issues, resulting in long-term damage to her marriage. This left fans divided. Metz is a great comedic actress, but her character Kate was insufferable. Starting off as a group effort, the musical dramedy Glee became a one-woman show, starring Lea Michele's Rachel Berry. Speaking of shows that started off with their hearts in the right place but fell flat because of problematic characters, we have to talk about Glee. Oh, Glee, the musical dramedy that had us all humming and tapping our feet. Lea Michele's Rachel Berry stole the spotlight and left some fans feeling sour. As the show progressed, fans took to the internet to describe Rachel as a tone-deaf diva with a superiority complex. Despite her impressive vocals, Rachel is the diva that took the musical series down a notch, according to critics who also described her as a masterclass in arrogance and awfulness. Who needs harmony when you have high notes and solo performances, right? Thanks for tuning in, folks. Remember, if you're watching TV, always keep a couch cushion nearby for those intense cliffhangers. And always remember, if it's on TV, it must be true. There you have it, ladies and gents. Those are 10 characters that single-handedly ruined TV shows.